What's up, you guys? I'm Sasha Green, and welcome back to another video on this Freedom Friday. Today, I just want to talk to you guys about, your enemies and how God prepares a table for us in the presence of our enemies. First of all, I want to talk about my situation with my parenting. How CPS got called out on my children, and I have partial custody of my children. They are currently living with a caregiver, and so that's something that I've had to deal with for these past 4 years, and now I've had a second born, and he's also staying with the caregiver, and the caregiver is very hostile toward me and my husband, and so we're having to make some adjustments in our life. With the supervised visits and things like that. I know I'm not the only one who has gone through this, but they just kind of accuse us of things we had no control over, like saying that my baby had a rash, in which case it was a normal baby rash that he was born with, and saying that that was the reason why, and saying because we wasn't changing the diaper and it had nothing to do with us not changing the diaper, and just so on and so forth, and they wind up taking our babies from us. So anyway, it's just different little reasons like that, and I don't get along with the caregiver. My children cry all the time and say, Mommy, I don't want to stay over there. I want to stay with you." And I'm like, "Okay, babies, I want you guys to stay with me too, and I want them to know, hey, Mommy and Daddy care about you. It's just we can't do anything right now until we get a lawyer to to get our kids back." So that's what I've been dealing with for the past almost 5 years, ever since my child was born. And it's really sad, but I kind of just go through it. I still spend time with my children. I have two boys. One is 5. His name is Benaiah. Or 4, I'm sorry. He's about to be 5. His name is Benaiah Job. And then my second born, he's 1, and his name is Burden Santiago. And so that's just something that I'm dealing with right now. Um, the lady had the nerve to say that I didn't deserve my children after I had miscarried twice in order to have my child. And so it was just something I wanted to talk about, because the Bible does clearly state that we would go through persecution and trials and be falsely accused for his name's sake. And I know that I'm doing the right thing. I know that I love God. I know that I have a job. Number one, I have a car, I have a house, and I never abuse my children. I don't do drugs. So there's no reason why my child should not be living with me and their dad, which is my husband. But the Bible says, "I will prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies and make your enemies your footstool." So I'm just going to let God fight my battles for me. I did a whole podcast series about this topic, about what to do when people are being hostile toward you. I have a podcast called Simply Sasha. If you want, you guys can check that out. I talk about a lot of different topics on my podcast series. It's very interesting. I do quote scriptures in it, and reference scriptures in my podcast to kind of give you guys, an idea about what God says about things that we deal with in our regular everyday life. But yeah, I'm just praying for God to prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies, because I have a couple of them, and they try to give me a hard time, but I always wind up being nice. I always wind up being the one to apologize, or, try to, you know, make amends with people because life is short and I don't have time for drama. So I try to, be the easygoing one. And I never had problems with their caregiver until just recently, when I wanted to file my income taxes. All of a sudden, I'm the bad guy because I want to claim my children on my income taxes. So money is the root of all evil. And I feel like, they're exploiting my children, because it was never a problem until I mentioned that. And it was like, "No, we're going to claim them because this, and the third." And I'm like, "Well, we have partial custody. They stay with us on the weekend. So how could you claim them?" And plus, I've claimed my child before and it was never a problem. So why now is it a problem? So I don't understand why. And then going back and forth saying, "Oh, well, I make all this money. I live in a 6-bedroom house, a $200,000 house, and it's never been an issue before." And well, if that was not an issue, then why would you be mad because I want to claim my children? And so we just went back and forth for a minute, and then she started to call me all kind of dummies and say things about me, and I just like at that it just went through one ear and out the other. It just rolled off me like water. I did not call her any names or degrade her or anything. I just basically said I didn't do anything to make you upset with me. Why are you mad now? Just because I said I want my children back and I want to claim them on my income taxes as well. It's never been an issue before. So, yeah, and I'm just, I don't know why people give me a hard time. And it's mostly about my children. My children are a big deal. Like they're not just anybody's kids. We're the chosen ones. You know what I mean? So they're not just anybody's kid. I prayed to have those kids after I miscarried twice. I prayed for God to open my womb and to correct the issue, and He did. I had a cerclage, and I finally was able to carry full term. And so for somebody to tell me that I don't deserve my kids is crazy. I said, well, obviously God thought otherwise, because He wouldn't have blessed me with my children if He didn't think that I deserved to have them. You know what I mean? And 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 He prepares us for whatever He blesses us with. He's going to give us and equip us with the things that we need to be able to maintain whatever He blesses with. So obviously, I'm equipped to be a mother. So, and I've also taken care of many other children and worked in daycares and everything. So, I know how to take care of children. I change diapers. I get paid to change diapers at the daycare. So, when I was working there, I don't work at a daycare anymore, but now I work with elderly people who I have to take care of. And so, to say that I don't know how to take care of a child is ridiculous, and it's, naive of them to assume. It's pretty delusional of them to assume otherwise, that I don't know what I'm doing, or that we don't have any training to do those things, which is, to me, is very ridiculous. And to say that I didn't have a job and things like that, I'm like, no, I've been working since I was 17, and I'm still working even until today. Otherwise, I wouldn't be trying to file my income taxes. So yeah, of course, we went back and forth with that discussion with the caregiver, and it just didn't turn out very pretty. Um, and I kind of knew this lady was, how chosen ones can sense things in your spirit. I could sense it in my spirit that my spirit just irritated her demons all along. From day one, I knew that they were after my child for money. And that's the whole reason why they tried to take him away from me, because they want to claim him on income taxes to get money. But she swore up and down that wasn't the reason why. But why was it such an issue for me to want to claim my children? If that wasn't the problem, then why would you be upset? And it was also on the news, here in Dallas, that, people are doing that. They're, taking people's children away from them, saying that the child is malnourished or has a rash. And it was on the news, that this lady is trying to get her son Josiah back because it happened to her, and she's handicapped in a wheelchair, but she could take care of her child. And they said, all because she wanted to get a second opinion and take the child from Children's Hospital to another hospital in Plano to get a second opinion about the rash, saying that the child wouldn't live unless it was treated. They came and took her child, and they did not have a court order, and they did that. And so she shined her hardest to get her child back. And I have a cousin who also has 5 children, and her children were taken away from her. And we have similar stories. They're saying, oh, it's because she's disabled or she's mentally ill or whatever else. And that's a bunch of bullcrap, you know? And they say the same thing about me, and it's a bunch of bullcrap. I work a job. She works a job. She has a car. I have a car. She has a house. I have a house. She doesn't do drugs. I don't do drugs. And we're parents. It's our season, and people just don't want to see us happy. Don't want to see us have a family. The devil, shall I say, don't want to see it happen, because that's his whole tactic is to ruin and destroy families, and whatever unity or bonds that you share with your families is what he wants to break, because he knows how powerful it is for families to join together in unity, as the Bible says. So that's the reason why he tries to bring things into the family to try to break them up. That's why a lot of people struggle with drugs and their family is torn apart. And different things happen because Satan is so busy trying to destroy family units and things like that. He doesn't want people to dwell together in unity like the Bible says we should, because it's a pleasure to God for us to be in unity with one another. All right, well, that's all I have for you today, guys. Until next time, stay blessed and stay beautiful. Bye.